Celtic and Project Strawberry, the untold story. In the late 1990s, one of Scotland's greatest football clubs quietly explored one of the most audacious moves in British football history. Behind closed doors in Glasgow, Celtic considered buying an English club and using that purchase to enter the English League system. Inside the boardroom, the idea had a code name. It was called Project Strawberry. Celtic were ambitious, successful and proud, but they faced a growing problem. The English Premier League was booming television money, sponsorships, and global audiences were transforming English football. For Scottish clubs, the financial gulf was widening. Fast executives began asking difficult questions. Could Celtic, one of Europe's great names, find a way to join the English structure? Could they compete at that level every week and share in the riches that came with it? Financial advisor David Lowe later revealed how the idea was explored. He said, "We discovered there was no rule anywhere that stopped a Scottish club domiciled in Scotland from playing in an English league." To Celtic's directors, that sounded almost too good to be true. They began looking for a route in, and one option stood out. Buy an English club, take over its league position, rebrand it as Celtic. At that time, Wimbledon Football Club were struggling for stability. Their old ground at Plough Lane was gone. They were ground sharing and facing financial uncertainty. To some at Celtic, Wimbledon looked like a door into England. Lowe recalled that for around £40 million, Celtic could have bought a championship side, changed its colours, its name and its ground, moving it to Celtic Park, and instantly had a team competing in the English system. He called it probably the cheapest £40 million the club could ever have spent. It was bold, it was controversial, and it almost happened. But the plan ran into major obstacles. First, there was the moral question. Buying an English club and erasing its identity would have destroyed its history, as one account later put it. It would have involved the killing of a club, perhaps two, and there was nobody at Celtic Park willing to countenance that. Then came the regulatory backlash. Around the same time, another Scottish club, Clydebank, proposed relocating to Dublin. That alarmed football authorities, who quickly tightened the rules. A new regulation stated that any club based in a country with its own league system could not play in another nation's competition unless both associations agreed or the club existed in a recognised cross-border region. Those changes closed the loophole that Project Strawberry had hoped to use. The dream of buying Wimbledon and moving Celtic into the English pyramid quietly faded away. Meanwhile, Wimbledon's own story took a dramatic turn. A few years later, they relocated to Milton Keynes and became MK Dons. The move sparked outrage among supporters. In response, fans formed their own club, AFC Wimbledon, rebuilding from the very bottom of the football ladder. Their rise became a powerful symbol of loyalty and community in modern football. For Celtic, Project Strawberry became a fascinating what if? What if the deal had gone through? Would Celtic now be competing in the Premier League, facing Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal every week? Or would they have lost something far more valuable? Their identity, their soul and their connection to Scottish football itself. Today, the idea of Celtic joining the English League still resurfaces from time to time, but the barriers are higher than ever. Cross-border ownership rules, UEFA regulations and national associations all stand firmly in the way. Yet the legacy of Project Strawberry remains, a moment when Celtic dared to think beyond borders and almost changed British football forever. It was an era of ambition, of creativity and of risk. In the end, it stayed just that, a plan on paper, a whisper in the corridors of Celtic Park. But the story endures, reminding us that football's past is full of bold ideas, and that sometimes the biggest moves are the ones that never happen.